You ready?
Yes.
All right. It's where Gen X and millennials meet,
Talking about things that are kind of neat.
Sincerely, Elaine and Georgie. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sincerely, Elaine and Georgie.
Hello.
Hello. Today's topic is all about self-esteem.
Ooh, that's heavy.
It is a heavy subject.
But we gotta talk about it.
Yeah,
We gotta.
So, right out of the gate,
Oh.
I'm gonna ask you a question, Georgie. So, where do you think our self-esteem comes from? And think about your self-esteem as when you were a child, and then as like a young adult, and now as an older adult. I just threw it all at you.
I know.
All the spaghetti at you.
Exactly.
Spaghetti.
Golly. All right, let's see. I'll talk about my self-esteem as I was growing up first,
Okay.
right? And I remember growing up, I definitely was very self-conscious.
Yeah.
Super, right? I was always heavier than everybody else. And I think it's very clear that society praises one type of body.
Sure.
And so my self-esteem lacked in that area, just my physical appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because it lacked in my physical appearance, it also made me self-conscious about just like being myself, I guess, almost sometimes, I don't know, for things that I liked.
Yeah.
So for example, you were my voice, or are technically my voice teacher. We haven't had a lesson in forever, but like, but
I've been meaning to text you.
So I feel like I made myself smaller,
Yeah.
I didn't want to draw attention to myself. So I would not do things that I liked, for example, performing, because I was self-conscious about the way I looked. So it's like being self-conscious about the way I looked made me self-conscious about other things almost, I feel. It was like a domino effect. I don't know.
That's interesting. So you feel like it's not just your physical self-esteem, but it's also like across the board, and maybe makes you internalize what people are thinking.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. Or just like being seen, right? I was scared for people to see me. And so, or I was scared what people would think when they saw me. Oh, she's so big. Oh, she's ugly. Oh, she's right? And so I was like, well, if I don't do any of these things, then nobody will see me. But then I think
That's so interesting.
little by little, I just became self-conscious about those things too. I don't know. It's very, you and I have had long discussions about like where my traumas and like my stuff about like my performing and that, being scared about that stems from. But I feel like it had to have, I almost feel like my physical dominoed a bunch of other things, and that carried on, being self-conscious about the way that I looked carried on till well into my 20s.
Yeah.
And I moved out of my house, which I think was a big, not because anybody in my house was truly, my parents have never commented on the way I looked. If anything, they've only been like, oh, you look so pretty today, or what, like I've never had any negative comments in the home about the way I looked. But I think that moving out, it's just a normal thing when you're a young adult. You kind of find yourself, or you just find new ways of thinking.
Sure.
Not necessarily even just out different ways of thinking from my own household, but different ways of thinking from my own city. I moved out to a different city, and I moved from Miami to Orlando, Florida, and the mentality is very different in the two cities.
Yeah. I can see being in Florida. If you live in Florida, you know what we're talking about.
And Miami is legitimately like a little Cuba, 100%. I don't, and there are very strong opinions and mentalities that come with like the Hispanic mindset, not just Cuba, but like literally just the whole melting pot that is Miami. And a very like machismo culture, and obviously Miami is also very hyper fixated on looks and how you look. Exactly. Like people literally are at the grocery store in like full beat and their hair done and like a mini dress with stilettos, and I'm like, I'm literally just coming to get some croquetas, dude. Like I'm not like
You're saying full beat?
Full, yeah.
What does that
like
mean?
like full, like your face is beat. like full makeup.
Never
Like full,
heard that.
no.
And there, ladies and gentlemen, is the generation. Like what?
Full beat. Yes.
Wow.
Actually, and to be fair, I don't even know if I use that correctly, so I doubt that we have any Gen Zers listening, but if we do, let me know if I used it right. But I think I did, but I don't know. Now I'm nervous.
Now you feel like under the microscope.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. But yeah, so but yeah, moving out definitely helped, and I feel like I discovered so much, and I was able to, I don't know, I just had space to grow, right? And to like consume different media and to think about myself differently, and also to experiment differently with the way that I dressed and stuff like that, because I feel like everybody back home knew exactly, or had an idea of exactly who I was, and this was how I dressed, and this is how I acted. But coming here, I could dress differently, and nobody was like, oh, that's different. It wasn't drawing attention for me to dress differently because I wasn't doing something different after 25 years, you know? It was, these people were meeting me for the first time, and in their minds, they're like, oh, that's just how she dresses. Yeah. So it allowed me that, and I grew a lot. But I want to get to the other question, so I'm going to like skip through that. And I have found myself in a really great place now. And I can discuss like more in depth later about everything that I did to kind of change that and get to where I am today. But I feel really great about myself today. I think I'm dope. I'm cute. Look at me. And
yes, you
do. But as far as where it comes from, I don't like, I feel like that is such a complex question.
It is.
Right? Because it has, it's not, I feel like there's no one answer.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's convoluted because it could be your influences as a child.
Yeah.
It can be what, not even like family, it could be what you've seen on TV. It can be society influence. It could be, it's all the above. That's what I was going to say.
It's all of it.
You know, it's like put it all in a big handbasket, and then that's what's controlling our self images.
Yeah.
Images.
Yeah.
Of self.
Of self. But I agree. I think there's no way to narrow it down.
Yeah.
I think it's everything. I think it's, like for me, I know for sure where I grew up.
Yeah.
Right? Like just Miami being so focused on how people look. The Hispanic culture is also, thankfully, like I said, within my personal family, like I never experienced this, but I did see it happen when I was visiting my friends. And so those are things that I'm hearing and internalizing as you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But in the Hispanic culture, it's very much like, nena, tú no estás comiendo like suficiente or whatever, you're not eating enough. Mm-hmm. And then they're like forcing 8 plates of food in front of you. But then if you're too big, they make sure to make a comment about it. Yeah. So it's just like, there's no winning. Like you're either not eating enough or you're eating too much.
Yeah.
And
I get that in Italian culture too.
Yeah.
Manja, eat. But then like the minute, you know, like I don't know if anybody else experienced this, I mean to interject, but this is something I was going to say when I was going to talk about this question, but it's like at every family meeting, the first words out of my grandparents' mouth was, oh, you look like you gained weight. Yeah. Oh, you look like you lost weight. God, yeah. Oh, you look like, it was always, some sort of comment about the physical. And it when you hear that over and over and over again, you know, it makes you go, okay, so really my worth to this person is how much I've gained or lost weight, right? You know, since the last time I saw them.
Because that's clearly all you want to talk about. Because you don't want to ask me about, because there's nothing else going on in my life, obviously, right?
You know, how's your business? How's this? How's this? Blah, blah, blah. But it's like, and you get droned into that, and that affected me a lot as a kid.
I can only imagine. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm very thankful that I have never had those comments. I don't know if they were made about me in secret, but I don't think they were. And, but yeah, and media also, of course, a huge influence. And that was one of the things that I did that changed the way that I could think about myself, that I allowed myself to think about myself. I took control over the media that I consumed. Yeah. And I started watching people who looked like me. And, you know, that helped big time. But what about you?
Well, it's interesting. We have different upbringings.
Yeah.
Like, I think my family was, in the moment you don't realize it, but in looking back, there was always a physical, like, determination of worth going on in my family. And I'm not saying my immediate family, I'm saying, like, even my grandparents and stuff like that. Physical was always an immediate observation. And then, you know, I'm going to bring up a story that I hesitated. I was like, I don't know if I should talk about this, because I love my father dearly. I want it to be said that I miss him every day. He passed away about 10 years ago. You know, he was a great man, and I loved him beyond words. But there was an instance in those formidable young teenage girl times of life. I think I was 12 or 13. And we had gotten this like Sunday kit, like make your own Sundays for like the holidays or something.
Oh, like ice cream sundae?
Like ice cream sundaes. And it came with like the cool glasses and all the like fixings for it. All you had to do was provide the ice cream. And somebody had gifted it to us. It was a gift somebody gave us. And I remember fixing myself a whole Sunday, being so excited, be like, oh, this is going to be so good. I'm so excited. Blah, blah, blah. You know, food is, you know, it's the holidays. We're having fun. And I turned around and my dad like puffed out his cheeks and put his arms out, and he goes, oh, you're going to be like this if you keep eating ice cream like that. And I was, it devastated me.
Yeah.
And that memory, I cannot tell you how many times it plays over in my mind. You know, and he was serious. Like, he was just like, you shouldn't eat that.
Oh my God. And you want to know what the crazy thing is? How you just said it plays over and over, or you played over and over in your mind. It's really interesting, because I feel like he probably never thought about that ever again. He never thought about it ever again. But for you, it stuck. And it was a broken record. Yeah. And I feel like that is the epitome of, you know, you have to be careful, watch what you say, because it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even go much as to say that, like, you know, you're like the first man that is like your example as a young woman. You know, what they say to you and how they treat you is how you, in the future, expect your, you know, love interest to treat you. And it is that expectation of judgment lives in my brain. It has taken up residence when I was 12 or 13, and it has lived there to this day, unfortunately. You know? So, but it's just like you just said, though, I could never, at that point, you're too young. I can't retaliate to my father. I can't, what do you say back? Like, how do I respond to that? To my dad? You don't know how to defend that or deflect that at that age.
I was going to say, even as an adult, sometimes I feel like I'm still learning how to navigate conversations about bodies, because I find that, and this actually does happen a lot with people that I interact with from Miami. Not to pick on Miami, it's home. I literally born and raised there, lived there for 25 years before I moved to Orlando, but and I love it. But it's so interesting. With my friends here in Orlando, I hardly almost ever talk about body or the way you look or losing weight or being a certain. It comes up. Yeah. It comes up. I'm not saying it doesn't. But it's not like almost every conversation. And I feel like when I go home, so often someone's talking about a diet they're on. Someone's talking about the way that something fits you and how a certain body type shouldn't wear it because it makes them look a certain way. And it's just really interesting how so many conversations surround just body image and the way that you look. And it's been noticeable, right? Where I can see the difference when I'm traveling to and from each place. Yeah. How much more I find myself hearing conversations about how people look.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah. And I don't like it. And I don't I don't like it. And I don't know, because, okay, so when I was starting my journey of what we'll call body positivity, sorry, I feel like I maybe overtook your story.
You did. It's okay. I'm going to bring it back. We're going to talk all about me.
I was going to say, go for it. Finish, no? Okay. When I started the thing about body positivity, when I started this journey of what we'll call body positivity, it was that, body positivity, right? And now as I've gotten myself, and I feel like it's because I had to overcompensate, because I've always felt so poorly about how I look that I had to be like hyper positive about it. But now because I'm comfortable with myself now, I'm trying to find myself a place of body neutrality, and I wish everyone could be there. Why do we always have to be talking about how people look? Why do we always have to be talking about how somebody looks in a certain dress, or how their shorts fit them, or how X, Y, or Z makes them look, you know? So I don't know, those just conversations in the house.
It's like we wish it, and I think on some level we all would want that. Yeah. But what stops us from fixing it or fixing the conversation? Yeah. You know? That's a good question.
Yeah.
Good question.
But back to you. Sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead.
It's okay. No, I love hearing your stories because I think, to me, it's so interesting how same yet different we are.
Yeah.
You know, and some of it has to do with generation, some of it has to do with cultural, some of it has to do with, like I said, the city you grow up in, you know, and all of that. And it's just, I don't know, this whole conversation is fascinating to me. But so as a kid, you know, growing up, so much of my self-image, I think, was very much dictated by my parents and my grandparents, the family reactions to me. I was a kid who always wore a t-shirt over her bathing suit. She never wanted to be seen.
Yeah.
And never was gonna like any kind of imperfection, then I needed to hide it. Like that is what I was growing up. But then when I did start to slim down going into college. I think just because I got busier and I got more fixated on music, and music was a good like outlet for me, that I think I started to feel more identity in that it got me out of that mode, you know. So through college, I had slimmed down. I felt confident dating. I felt confident being, you know, in my job and what I was doing. I was assertive. I didn't hold back. I never felt like I had to hide myself. But then fast forward to, you know, I moved to Oklahoma, so I was like probably in my late 20s, and that's when I met my now ex-husband, but then husband. And in that moment, I started to put weight back on. Yeah. And it was almost like the minute the weight started to come back on, I reverted back to that girl. Those old stories got louder in my head. And, you know, to the point that then through my marriage, I kept putting on weight, because then it was a bad situation. So you're depressed eating, and you're going to food for, like, you know, counseling, cheap counseling. So you know, all those old narratives that we all know. Yeah. But now, post divorce, and so like my mid 30s to now to like mid 40s, it's a struggle. I feel I struggle now way more than I did in my early 20s. Really? Way more now. Wow. And I think it's, I don't know. I'm trying to like articulate it like in a way that makes a lot of sense. And that I'm not looking to like solicit pity either.
No,
you know?
Like, yeah, absolutely.
But I know I struggle with it all the time. Like even doing this podcast and being on camera, it is such a battle in my head to allow myself to videotape from an angle that I don't feel flattered in, or that I don't feel good in. I feel like I should hide. Like, who's going to want to watch this? It's that strong, you know? But now ask me about running a business or a career, or I'm a beast. Like, you cannot, like, I have no problem. Self-esteem out the wazoo. Yeah. Talk about business, run a business, whatever. Talk about me physically as a person, I crumble.
Yeah, it's not,
And I don't, I need a therapist.
And it's I know. And it's also the thing, I don't want to say that it doesn't matter, because obviously how we feel about ourselves.
It does matter.
It does matter. But it's just, the way that we look is the least interesting thing about all of us, in my opinion.
I agree.
We all have so much more to offer than how we look. Yeah. And like, I mean, if we look great in the process, awesome. Or if we feel great in the process, awesome, right? Because it brings, I feel like it brings extra pizzazz to everything that we do and everything that we say if we feel good. Yeah. But it's just, it's frustrating when what I would consider the least important thing, you know what I mean? Like how we all look, but that's the emphasis. Like society tells us that it is the most important thing, and that everything else that you have to offer is secondary. Yeah.
It's so messed up. That's so wrong.
I know.
I know. It's so wrong. And I think then I get comments from people, like, especially if I'm dating somebody, and they hear me. I talk confidently about business. I mean, come to confidence, and then I say, "Well, I really don't have a great self-esteem." They don't believe me.
Really? Yeah.
Because they sometimes, that these are people who are now edifying me and are like, you know. But they're like, how could you be so this way here, but yet be so not here? Yeah. I don't know. I go back to it. It's like these fractures of who we are.
When you said before about being on video and being uncomfortable and stuff like that, it triggered a memory that I think I've told this to a few people. So this might not be news to some of you listening, but I will never forget a picture. I used to be one who did not like having photos taken of me. Yeah. And if they were, like, I was in control of how they were taken. Like you said, you want to make sure that it's quote unquote flattering and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'll never forget when I was a teenager, my uncle's a huge, like, big into photos and photography and all that stuff. He loves, like, taking, you know, commemorating or, like, immortalizing every moment with photos. And so he took a picture once and he showed it to me on the digital camera, and I didn't like it. And I commented something about how, like, I didn't like how I looked or whatever. And he said something that both, like, traumatized me, but also I was like, I don't know, it, like, both, like, I didn't like it, but then I liked it. I don't know. He said, okay, well, that's how you look, so get over it. Like,
interesting.
And so I didn't like how he delivered it, obviously.
No, a little like...
and I also don't think he meant anything mean by it.
No, yeah.
But he was basically just saying, like, okay, but that's literally how you look. That's how everybody sees you. That's how... And I was like, I don't like it, though. Like, but then... So I struggled with that. But I feel like I don't know, it's so interesting. I feel like over time, and even, like, to this day, there are some times where I do see photos or videos of myself where I'm not a fan, and I find myself thinking those negative feelings. Yeah. And I find myself going back to that moment with my uncle where I'm like, okay, but that's literally, that's how I look. And I'm not fooling anybody. Yeah. By taking a photo at a different angle, because all of my friends and everybody who sees me in public sees me from every angle. Not just from this perfect angle that I've, you know, manipulated in a photo. And so I don't know why that thought, I don't know, has kind of helped me, but also it's hard to get through, you know, like it's a hard reality. It's a tug of war. Yeah. It feels like, you know, where I'm just like, okay, that's what I look like. And then training my brain, instead of saying like ew, to just be like, okay, that's what you look like. That's okay. Yeah. You can look like that. Yeah. That's allowed. You know? And so, I don't know.
I'm learning a lot from you today. I'm just going to sit back and listen. Because obviously, I got the bigger... no, we all do. But I'm just saying, like I like that is a good truth right there. Yeah. Of like, it is what it is. Right. Accept it. Yeah. And move on, because you're doing, you know, the baggage I'm carrying about the self-esteem. Who's suffering the most from that? Yes. Me. Nobody else is suffering from that. That's so true. I'm suffering. I'm torturing myself.
And nobody, I mean, yes, there are shitty people out there who are going to be thinking about it and are going to have thoughts about it or whatever. But really, the people that matter, right, are hopefully seen beyond. Yeah. Like the physical. Yeah. And I don't know, for me, I know with family it's always a harder line, but we are in control of the company we keep. Yeah. As far as friendships and stuff like that, you know? True. So if somebody is not healthy for us in that capacity, I think it's not that it'll be an easy decision or an easy thing to do, but I think it's well within our realm of possibilities to eliminate the negative.
Eliminate it. It's
exactly.
You push.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope.
Actually, that'd be really easy. If it were that easy.
And you'd have to have like a confrontational conversation with the person. That's brilliant.
Dream. Just eliminate.
Just done. Yeah. Well, people do that now, and it's called ghosting.
You're right. Which is a problem, because I have a problem where I can't not be liked. So I'm just like, well, I want to ghost you, but I still want you to like me after I ghost you. Like, I'm working on it in therapy. Don't worry.
So funny. It's so honest, though.
I'm just saying.
This is the way it is.
Okay, but we have something written here that I have lots of thoughts about, which is compliments and how you take them. And do we even?
Nope.
How do
Nope. I'll smile, but not internalizing whatsoever.
If it's physical, right?
If it's physical. That's very true.
Mm-hmm. But if it's about business, if it's about, you're like, yeah, I'm a badass bitch.
I'm like, get out of the way. It's so true. You say that. It's 100% true. Yeah. But man, I mean, even when I know, there's some people who give insincere compliments, but there's even the ones where you know this person is sincere. Yeah. You know, you just know, and you just it's so hard. It's so hard. I will always thank somebody. I have taught myself to not make the person giving the compliment feel bad for giving the compliment. Right. I will always be appreciative, say thank you very much or whatever. But do I go in the mirror and go, yeah, I do have great hair, or yeah, I do have great this.
Yeah.
No, even today, you complimented me on my hair when you walked in, and I immediately wanted to make excuses of why it looked terrible.
Yes! Okay.
That's a perfect example.
Yes, it is. And I was going to say, because I do the same thing where if somebody compliments me on something, I am like, oh, well, I'm trying something new. Or like, I find a way to negate it almost, right?
Exactly.
Or to be
100%.
like, or if somebody's like, oh, I like that bag, is it new for some reason? Or like, I like that top, is it new? I don't know why new clothes, when people compliment me on like a new, you know what I mean? Like a new outfit, or like, you look great in that new outfit or whatever. I'm like, no, it's not new. It's not, like, I wasn't trying. I wasn't putting effort into my appearance. Like, I don't know why I have a trauma with putting effort into my appearance. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I don't know. Just,
to me, what registers in my head is I think somebody's complimenting because they noticed that it looked bad and they feel bad and now they want to say something nice about it. That is the messed up loop in my head. It was really, you noticed my hair, but you
because
really
you thought it looked ugly.
Because you thought it looked ugly, but you just came up with something nice to say because you didn't want me to like worry that you were staring at my hair. That doesn't make any sense.
I was gonna say,
logical about
I don't
that
think you need this confirmation, but that's also not what happened.
I know.
I just want to confirm for the people.
The little girl inside of me is going, I don't believe
yeah, exactly.
this, Georgie. I don't believe this, Georgie.
Exterminate or whatever I said. Eliminate. Oh, not exterminate. Eliminate.
That's from Doctor Who. Exterminate.
Is it? I've never seen that show.
Oh.
I know. I'm a bad millennial. I know a lot of millennials like that show.
They do.
Yeah. Not a big, but anyway.
That's so interesting. But why do we negate the compliment?
I don't know. It's so... And I have tried my best recently. I feel like this has been one of my personal projects in the last year. When people compliment me, just to say thank you. Be like, oh, thank you so much. Yeah. And that's it, and nothing else. Because I can't handle like agreeing with them or anything, you know? Like I can't go that far yet. But I was like, I don't need to make excuses. I don't need to say no, I don't. I don't need to say, I look, oh no, I feel ugly. Like I don't need to say any of that. Yeah. And it's probably one of the hardest things about this like journey that I've been on has just been accepting a freaking compliment. I don't know why. It's I know. You think it'd be so simple.
I had a random story pop in my head. It has nothing to, it has to do about self-esteem. It has to do about this conversation. It's a really bad story. Oh, it's a bad story, or like what happened? No, it's like, bad? I'm just gonna say, just because I feel prompted to tell the story.
Yes.
It's tied into a dating situation. So like I was talking to a guy, we're getting along great, online dating, or we all know that how it goes. But anyways, he was super cool, and we were really vibing, and so I used the young person's term. Vibing. Oh, I was like, what? What term? As Jen actually did not use that term. I just feel so cool. So we go and we just meet for lunch, and we have an okay lunch. All this whole kind of thing. We're good, great. Get a text from this guy after. He says, I can't date you because you're too big and I would rather cheat on you. I took a screenshot of that text. Can you believe that? Said it, not to my face, said it to text, like minutes after we parted company, and said, yeah, exactly. Legit said that.
I'm like actually speechless. If you are not watching the video, my mouth was completely agape. I'm just like,
can you believe that?
I actually have no words.
And then you wonder why I don't want to date, because that's what you have to deal with. That's what you have to deal with. Yeah. I was like, I would have to sleep around because you just do too big. Oh
my God. What is wrong with this person? That person needs help.
Oh, they do. As much as that initially stings, I at least had enough presence of mind to go, okay, there's something wrong with him. Not me. Yeah. Like, I knew that. I got that far.
But it doesn't make it hurt less, right?
Somebody?
I was going to say, it doesn't make it hurt less when you know it's a them problem. Yeah. I have been very fortunate that I've not really had any comments made like negatively about the way I look like at school or it just in any facet of my life. And I've been very, very fortunate about that. But I do remember once walking, I'll never forget, because it was one of like the maybe 2 or 3 times that it's become that it was a thing, that I was walking through my high school parking lot, and all of us, I went to an all-girls school, we all looked like mailmen, legitimately, because we wore like white button-down or light blue button-down shirts, and then like Bermudas or pants with like penny loafers. And also we were at an all-girls school, and like, not for nothing, but like, I think most of us were heterosexual, and we didn't care to impress anybody at the school, so we all looked also like cavemen. So like, which nowadays it's like, why did we care? Like, who cares about body hair? Who cares about, you know what I mean? Like, those are other things that like, I feel like I am starting to learn, like, okay, who cares that like that person has hair in their armpits out there? That's how it grows. Like, whatever. And do I want to do that? Does it matter? No. Like,
but it's their prerogative.
It's their prerogative. And it doesn't affect my life at all. Anyway, okay, that's a whole nother tangent. But I was walking through the parking lot looking like a caveman mailman, and
the visual of that is priceless.
Club and everything, like just dragging knuckles dragging on the floor. And actually, yes. We were big on bows and pearls.
What?
Yeah, big on bows and pearls. And like, I had a little, like, I'll never forget, a purple plastic barrette that was a guitar, and I wore it everywhere. I thought it was so cute. But it was like, but we also wore really ugly, like, not ugly, but like tacky things on purpose.
Yeah.
Like, I would take like nowadays, for example, like a Paw Patrol backpack. You know what I mean? Like, we all had like little kid backpacks and little kid lunch boxes because we thought it was funny and it was like the cool thing to do. Anyway, whatever.
It was ironic.
Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, this kid, I was walking with my friend Patty, who is tiny. She's a tiny, tall and tiny. And some guy, our like brother school, which was an all boys school, like they were, two guys were driving past, and one of them was like, get on Slim Fast or something like that. Yeah. And it was like one of the maybe 2 or 3 times something like that has happened to me. And I remember being like how I was right now with you about your story. I was just speechless. Yeah. And my friend Patty my friend Patty is such a fierce friend, and she always has been. Like, she feels fiercely. There's literally no other way to put it. Like, no matter when it comes to like the people that she loves, right? Like, if you're sad, she is sadder than you are with you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if she's an empath. Yeah, exactly. 100%. And she was on fire. She was like, "You're a loser," blah, like screaming at this person. Like,
as she should have.
I'm so thankful for her. I love her so much. But she was like screaming at this person as they drove, screaming after they were they were not within earshot anymore. They were in a BMW because rich Hispanic kids, whatever. But like, you know, so, and I just remember, I still think about that sometimes, you know, and it's, I just don't know why he felt the need to say, like, same thing with this guy, like yes, and even with this guy, with your guy, unprovoked. Why can't he just be like, hey, I wasn't feeling it, thanks for nothing, like, and that, why do people feel their need to go out of their way
to attack?
Yes, to attack. It doesn't. What a sad existence to be so consumed by other people. Yeah. Like,
why does? This is a whole other conversation, but like, and we can, anyways. But why is thin better? Why does thin mean you're smarter, better, more successful, more this, more that? Why is that an elevated status? Why does somebody who's thin feel like they have the right to judge someone who isn't? Yeah. When did this become a classist thing? Yeah. You know?
Yes, 100%. And I know that there are, and this goes like, where people will say like, well, I've always been judged for being too skinny and stuff like that. And I can only speak from my experience. And yes, like, I have heard people be like, I have heard the comments of people saying like, she's too skinny, eat a cheeseburger, blah, blah, blah. I've heard those comments, but I feel like there is something to be said. I'm not saying that I'm not negating that person's experience. And I'm not saying that they haven't been affected by that and that they don't struggle with their own, you know what I mean? With their own stuff surrounding their looks. But like you said, society praises thin. So
you could be thin, but you don't lose status. But if you're heavy, you lose status.
Exactly. So you know, I really feel like there's something to be said for the way that society treats, you know.
And I again, like you said, I hope that statement doesn't offend anybody who is thin and has struggled. Like, I don't want to
and it's not to take away from their struggles. Everybody has their things.
But from my perspective, or from the only perspective I can speak of is from my own, and I do agree with that. Yeah. You know?
Because I feel like that's what I've always struggled with, because I feel like when I've told my story, sometimes people say like, well, yeah, I get it, because I've been And in the moment, I don't say anything because I don't really know how, like, I don't want to offend. But in my, right, and because that's never my intention. But in my head, I can't help but feel, like, if I'm just being totally honest, like, I sympathize for you because I don't want anyone to have to struggle with the way they look. Like I said, like, I'd love for everybody to just be neutral about the way they looked, right?
Be a non-factor.
Right, exactly. Or, like, just do things that make you feel good and not worry about what other people, you know?
Yeah.
But it's hard sometimes when I hear people say that because I'm just like, but you don't get treated differently. Like, there is something called, that I think, this is a phrase, pretty privilege. I don't know if have you heard?
I've not heard of that. But
okay. Yeah, and it's a thing.
It is a thing.
And pretty privilege is mostly granted to thin people.
Yes.
You know? Yes. Because ugly is just, being fat, being overweight is just synonymous for a lot of people with being ugly.
Yeah.
Which, not for nothing, but, like, I'm fucking hot.
So am I.
And exactly.
I'm trying. The self-esteem monster just, like, choked me out as I tried to say that. Even jokingly, I couldn't say it.
You're like, so high. I know. But it's, like, I genuinely feel like I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, I'm pretty. What the heck? And, like, and then it crushes me when I see that people don't think that only because I'm heavy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what?
That makes me cry.
Oh, Elaine.
Oh. No, because it's true. It's true. And it's frustrating.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I feel like we could literally talk about this for 7 hours.
You know, let's take a little rambling break.
I love that idea.
Do you hear something?
I hear it. And you know what's funny? I have it in my head as like a little choo-choo, but that's not what our rambling song sounds like. All.
Not even close.
But here it is. We interrupt this program to bring you a very important rambling. Stay tuned. Ramble. What do you got to ramble about?
Is it my turn to ramble?
Oh, I would love to. I'm excited about your rambling.
Okay, I'll ramble.
She literally brought a prop.
I did. Well, some are on my feet, and then she was like, can you show them? I'm like, that's as high as it goes. And they only see the bottom. Those who are just listening, I am showing the sole of my shoe.
Oh my god.
But she's pink. And these are called Hey Dudes.
Hey Dudes.
Hey Dudes. So I recently, hang on, I'm going to bend over for a minute.
Oh.
It's a good bend over. I brought a second one because I bought several types of these shoes.
Did you? How many?
I did. I bought 6 pairs.
Oh! She's definitely
a problem.
If I find one thing, I'll buy it in every color.
Yeah, totally that person. So I was in North Carolina, right, with my family.
Yes. And
my sister-in-law and my nephew go, oh yeah, we have Hey Dudes, or you should buy some Hey Dudes, or something. I forget how the conversation started, and I was like, what are those? What are you saying? What is a Hey Dude?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
you buy a person?
Yeah.
Right. And then at first I thought they were singing Hey Jude, like Hey Jude, anyways. So we had time, and so my sister-in-law, let's go to the shoe store. So we went, and I found the shoes called Hey Dudes. They are so lightweight. This is not a product. They did not pay me for this advertisement. Though our ramblings are turning into this.
100%, because mine will also be one.
They are so lightweight and so comfortable. And I am not a casual shoe type of person. I generally wear mules, like boots, mules, those kinds of things. But I put this on my foot, and I was just like, what matter of heaven has touched the soles of my feet?
Oh my god. So
much that I bought my sister-in-law a pair when I was
there.
I bought 2 pairs while I was there, and then I found them on Amazon.
Oh!
They were cheaper.
My goodness.
It's a problem. But they're super soft, and they're super light.
That looks really flexy.
That's
like folded in half.
It is. Ow. Sorry, my thumb. Arthritis. Hello, 45.
Just 45 things.
Your thumb starts working. Literally. But they're like super. What I like about it is they feel like socks but with a support system.
I've heard a lot about them recently. I feel like they're taking off.
They are, because even for packing, because I'm going to be going to Scotland soon, and they're super smushy and they weigh nothing. Like I could.
Can I hold them? Let me see.
Yes.
Wow.
Right? They're nothing.
This literally probably feels scripted, but like this, I had not held one before, and this really is incredibly light.
It's like nothing. It's like you putting air on your feet.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like air on their feet? Anyways, so I am irreproportionately excited about it.
Okay, so this feels like karma for when you were judging me for being really excited about my water bottle last week.
Listen, I don't remember any of that.
Oh, wow. How
about.
convenient.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I know is I will probably buy 4 more berries.
Okay. Well, I guess now's a good time then to tell you that I bought a new Owala water bottle.
I was going to ask you when you walked in. I was like, I don't remember ever seeing that one before.
It's a new color.
How many Owala bottles do you have?
Owala bottles? I actually only have 4 now. Yeah.
Why did you get the one back from your aunt?
Yes, I did. With my earthworm sticker on it.
Please say it's a sticker.
Yeah, it's a sticker. with that used earthworm that I used to.
But anyways, I am a fan, and if you have an opportunity to buy these, you should. And I expect a gift card in the mail. Hey, dude, for advertising.
I was about to say,
so I can buy 8,000 more.
Yeah. Apparently, if they were to pay us for this, she would just spend all of her earnings on more Hey Dudes.
Look at how cute these are. They're pink.
They are very cute.
And they're pink. And they're light.
You're really selling it, Elaine.
I'm not in marketing.
Don't worry. When
buy them, I like them.
Exactly. I was going to say, when they inevitably sponsor us, because we're going to put it out there.
Yes, we are.
They'll give us a script with what to say, so you won't have to worry. Or at least they'll give us talking points.
Shoot, they're light. I don't know what they're made out of. I don't know
but
what any of it is.
It has to be just foam. There's no way.
A sole. It's got places for your toes. I don't really know where else to go with this. Just that I do have a shoe problem. I would like to admit this now.
Do you?
I wouldn't call it a shoe problem, but my entire laundry room is a shoe closet.
No way.
Like ceiling to floor.
Oh my gosh, so I was just talking to my cousin-in-law. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just talking to my cousin-in-law about this, that I am dying to I've actually never given 2 poops about shoes. I've always been like the girl who has like a pair of like Nike sneakers, like cute sneakers, and sandals. Mm-hmm. And then back in my horrible fashion early 2000s days, just a bunch of flats and like business casual shoes because that was very in.
Yeah.
But I've always only had like 3 pairs of shoes that I wear, and I just wear them on on a rotation. But recently I've been wanting to like revamp my shoes, and I'm just like, I want more options.
Yes, you should.
Yes. So I'm aspiring to be like you now.
Easily have probably 60 or 70 pairs of shoes.
Okay, wait, I don't need that many.
We'll show a picture with the video podcast, and it'll just be a panoramic. It's like,
I can't.
It's a lot of shoes.
Oh, you need a panoramic photo for it?
Well, because it's all the walls.
Oh.
Like I have 4 shoe like bags, the things you put things on the 2 walls, and then there's like 3 big shelves above the wash and dryer, and then there's a big shelf on the wall. Okay, when I said revamp, I was like, I'm just gonna have like 10 shoes. Like that's what I was thinking. I understand owning that small amount of shoes. How do you not find like those super cute, unique shoes that you get to wear with stuff? That's kind of what I'm working on, I think. Yeah. In my mind, I think I'm starting with 10 because I've always been like a 2 or 3 girl. So like adding 7 more seems like a lot. Like I'm tripling or sometimes maybe quintupling. I bought more Hey Dudes in 1 week than you have yours. Yes, literally. I don't have a problem. You live in that. You tell yourself that, Elaine. But I also this is a long rambling. I also believe if you have a pair of shoes that you really love, buy them in all the different colors, like you already said. So because I work and I wear mules a lot, I'm also hard on my shoes. Yeah. Like I throw out a decent amount of pair of shoes after time because I tear the heels off for some reason. I like to apparently I walk heavy. I don't know. I walk with fervor. I got somewhere to go. I'm going fast. Walking with purpose. Right. Okay, but speaking to like this age gap, right? I have noticed that as I've gotten older, I want to invest in like quality footwear now. Yes. I'm like, 'cause it matters. Yes. I'm like, where can I get, like I just went to Disneyland not that long ago, and I went in Converse, which was the stupidest idea I could have had because I had no support in Converse. And I immediately came home and spent like $160 on a pair of really good sneakers that I've been wearing since and are like incredible. And I know I could get them for less than $160. I'm sure there are other options for less, but these were really cute. So like,
And that mattered to me.
And if you want to wear them, you spend the money, because then then it's better than buying a cheap pair you never want to wear.
Right, or just buying a pair that maybe does feel good, but the quality is crummy and will last for maybe 4 months.
Yeah.
And I'm paying $50 for a shoe that will last me for 4 months, or I can pay $150 for a shoe that will last me for 4 or 5 years, or more. Who knows? Depending on how I use it.
It's true. Very valid.
So, anyway.
Interesting. We need to talk about fashion with self-esteem.
Oh, we so should.
You want to come out of our rambling, but we'll
yeah.
Well, I think we kind of fell out of this rambling.
I know, yeah, exactly.
But like, talking about self-esteem and fashion, like when I was in my thinner years, I loved to dress very cute or sassy. Like then the long jean skirts were in fashion, so I'd wear the long jean skirts with these like funky socks.
Yeah.
And then like the Daisy whatever shoes that have the strap that go over. They're called something. I can't remember what they're called. I'm old. Anyways, and I would wear like cute tops. And I was always very like risque because I felt thinner and I felt I looked cute in it.
Yeah.
And I think I felt more comfortable to do that. But when I'm heavier, or now, like if I wear something super cute, I feel like a spectacle instead of cute.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then it's drawing attention. But I do foresee in my future, because I'm feeling myself take a turn here a little bit, where I might be the crazy like old woman who wears like mismatched stuff.
Do it!
Like, crazy, because I feel myself.
Yes, if it makes you feel good, do it.
I'm slipping. I'm slipping. I feel it.
I find so fashion is when I was growing up, I wore things to hide, right? It was so I lived in Miami, Florida, okay, where it's like 90 degrees and up and humid as all hell year round, right? And I wore jeans and a sweatshirt and Converse everywhere I went. Literally everywhere I went, I'm not kidding. And it was 100% I was hiding. Yeah. You know?
I can relate.
Yeah. And it wasn't until I moved, because then obviously I felt like if I had changed the way I dressed, then I became, like you said, a spectacle. Yeah. Because everyone was like, oh, wow, like, what's this change? What are you doing? And so what I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier, when I moved out and I came to somewhere new where really no one knew me except for my roommate that I moved with, who was my best friend of like, I've known her since I was 4. I felt a little bit more freedom to start experimenting, because I wouldn't be drawing that kind of attention, I guess. I would still possibly be drawing attention.
But you wouldn't have to justify why.
Right. I wouldn't have to be like, well, I'm trying something new, or like, I want to feel good about myself, or that's where this, you know, like, there wasn't exactly, I wouldn't have to justify why. And so I experimented a lot with the things that I bought and wore, but obviously I had to change my closet because it was all jeans and sweatshirts.
You wore sweatshirts in Miami.
It was, I sweat a lot. I was hot all the time, pretending that I wasn't. You know, I was like, and again, it's funny actually now that you say that, because people would be like, "How are you wearing?" I would draw attention that way. Yeah. How are you wearing jeans and a sweatshirt? But it was a more comfortable. Yeah. I was like, I'm comfortable this way. This is what I like. Like lying to everybody, and including myself. God. You know, that's what I liked. But the freedom that I felt when I started wearing the shorts that I wanted to wear, and tank tops and crop tops, and like things that like my body can breathe in the Florida heat, and I'm not constantly, I'm still sweating because it's freaking Florida and global warming. Yeah. But like, you know, it's the fact that I was a little more comfortable in the Florida heat it's like life-changing. And then to slowly over time, actually, instead of it feeling more like an experiment, it just actually feeling cute. Yeah. You know? It's like in it. And so now I still get uncomfortable, like if people look, because sometimes I can't tell why they're looking. I'm like, are you looking because you think I'm cute? Because if that's the case, the same. But like, but if you're looking because, you know, like I still, I don't know.
I think that you made me think of something that could go really deep.
Wow, from Elaine, who would have thought?
Shut up. I love it, you. Is the whole that when I think about, again, the cost I paid, because I would not go to summer function. I would not go to things because I didn't want to wear a bathing suit in front of people, or I didn't want this. How many relationships and friendships and opportunities did I cut myself off of because of shame? And for what? There was no shame. It was just this, I don't want to be seen. I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to. So I am depriving myself of my life because I am.
That hits home so hard, Elaine.
Yeah.
So hard, because the amount of things that I didn't do.
I know. I mean,
like I can list things like rock climbing with my friends in high school because they got into it and I thought it was neat, but I was like, no, I'm too big to do it, and like I'm gonna get judged, or I can't do it because I just believed everything that society would have told me. And you know, like you said, I didn't go on my junior year, I think it was junior year, class trip because it was to a water park.
Yeah.
And I told everybody that I didn't want to go and I didn't care.
Yeah.
But that's not true. That's not why I didn't go.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. I got the same things. Or how many things I go do by myself because I'm too embarrassed to do with other people. Like I love, and people would be very surprised by this, I love to go canoeing. I like to go tubing. I like fishing. You know, these are things granted some of these things I haven't done in a while because I've been a little busy. But I've gone tubing by myself. I go canoeing by myself because I don't want somebody to see me in a tank top that I know. I've gotten to the point where they're strangers, fine. Yeah. Let them judge me, whatever. At least now, right. I mean, I still care. I can pretend like I don't care.
But it's like a different care.
But it's a different care. I don't want people I know to see me like that because I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
So I go do these things by myself when I could have friends, I'm sure, that would want to come with me.
Yes, and that don't like that. It doesn't matter to them.
It's me. I'm the one doing it. Yeah. I know it's not anybody else. Yeah. You know.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, that definitely hits home because that's actually why I think I've mentioned in the podcast, and if I haven't, that every year I choose a word of the year. Yeah. And I focus on that. And this year I chose risk, and it was for that exact reason, because I knew that I was stopping myself from doing things that I wanted to do. And I know that like ultimately most of it stemmed from just this pattern behavior. You know what I mean? I'm so used to not doing things because of I'm scared how I'll look, that it's, even if that's not the active thought anymore, I've just gotten accustomed to not trying things, you know? And so I had to I was like, I need to make my word of the year something that forces me to act. Yeah. Because I'm just stuck in this, you know, bubble that I'm creating myself.
So much. So much.
This is a therapy session. I feel like we should have had a therapist here to help guide.
We should have, because now we're just gonna be like, we're covering all these things I don't know how to deal with.
I know we're gonna end this and be like, okay, well, take that for what you will, because we don't know how to feel right now.
We're gonna ask you at the beginning of the program. You may or may not need therapy.
Exactly. And by may or may not, we mean you probably will.
It's like find a friend.
Yeah. Listen with a friend.
So true.
I know. That was good thought, Elaine, because that was a good one.
I'm gonna readjust myself.
Okay, because I'm crossing the legs.
That's right. So those that are listening are like, what does that mean?
She's just sitting in a different position.
I had to reach over to reach for the shoe.
Oh.
So I uncrossed my legs and I wanted to recross my legs.
And I love that you had to announce it.
I know, because they're like, what does she mean? I had to give myself an attitude adjustment. I love it. So, all right. What else?
So I don't think we've talked about self-esteem. Have you noticed your self-esteem or your self-image or anything like that affecting your job? You mentioned that you're so comfortable and confident in your job. Have you noticed it affect that at all?
Have I noticed it affect my job? I feel like not to the point that it's detrimental. Yeah. But I do feel it when I will be talking to a student. Like, this has happened recently. Okay. And I'm very self-conscious of the fact that ladies who are of a certain size who wear bras end up with sometimes a fat bulge. We have a back.
Like a little roll.
A little roll in the back. And so, and I know I certain, you know, it happens, right? And there's a student where I see his line of sight go to my back, and his line of sight goes there a couple times. My immediate thought is, oh, he sees it. Yeah. stupid.
Yeah.
Right? Like stupid. He sees it. Oh, it must make him like disgusted.
Right. He's thinking all these horrible things.
And he's
about
not
me.
thinking about what I'm here doing as a client.
Right.
You know, as my client, my teacher, I'm teaching him and whatever. But stuff like that'll happen. Or I feel like my shirt is slightly higher, and maybe they can see parts of my body that I don't like. So I do. It is in the back of my head.
Yeah.
Does it stop me from doing my job? No.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like this little gremlin that hangs out
of the moment.
It takes me out of the moment briefly, and then I come back.
Yeah.
I can fight back to it. But it is there.
Yeah.
And it's stupid.
Yeah. It's so.
I know it's stupid. Like that right there. What I just said about that. But he's not. Nobody.
No, yeah, exactly. That's probably not what he was looking, right?
No,
like,
he's probably just looking at something on the wall behind me or whatever. But my brain goes, "Oh, he must be."
Yeah, yeah. It's mean.
Then it makes
Brains
you
are
wonder,
mean.
Then it makes you wonder. This is a whole antithesis, or is that the right word? Antithesis. Well, the opposite.
Yeah.
Is it our ego?
Yeah.
Because is it really? It's ego. That's an ego-driven thing.
Yeah.
To think that everybody's always thinking about me.
Yeah, that's very true.
When in reality they're not.
When half the time, or more than half the time,
it's not.
Literally no one. Yeah, exactly.
It's not.
That's a good thought. You, for my career, it's funny. I feel like I would have been in a totally different career.
Yeah.
I would have been a performer if I hadn't been so scared, you know?
Oh, that's interesting.
Because I know I know that the fear stemmed from the way that I looked. So,
interesting.
And I know obviously how heavy with look the entertainment is. You know, it's literally
it's
just
life or death,
right?
And
yeah,
whether we want to admit that or not, it is
absolutely. And I knew that I didn't have the courage, and I wasn't strong enough to hear that all the time.
Yeah.
So and like fight through it and all that stuff. So I wish that I had been, but I know 100% I would have been in a completely different career.
See, that's so interesting to me.
Yeah. It makes me sad sometimes to think about.
Of course, because it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's twofold. I could turn it, and I have said this to you. It's like, oh, you should do it anyways because it's for you. It's what you love. It's what matters to you. So do it because the opportunities will present themselves.
Yes.
But I will also say in the same breath, I have had clients who have pursued, who are women of a certain size, and all doors have shut in their face.
Right.
So it's like, I can say that because that's how society should be, but is that how society is? Especially in entertainment. Those of you who don't work in the entertainment world, I promise you that your size and your weight matters, even if they say it doesn't.
100%.
It does, 100%. I've seen girls who have gained 15, 20 pounds and not get their contracts re-signed.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen girls gain 5 pounds.
Yeah.
And then they have a talk, and they have to take them into the office.
Have a discussion.
Yep. 100%.
And they'll say things like, it's because the costume doesn't fit anymore, or because of costuming issues, and maybe it is, but it does not cost the amount of money that they want to say it is to redo a costume or slightly adjust. They have a whole department that's making and redoing costumes all day long.
Right.
But they will use that. I'm not going to name names or anything, but it is a thing.
Yes, it definitely is. And I knew that I couldn't handle it.
Makes me so sad.
I know.
Angry too.
I know. Me too. Because I still would, especially like in this year of risk for me, right? I would love to pursue it, but I am so scared. But that's why I've thought, in kind of brainstorming, I've been like, you know what? I don't have to like audition for specific roles. I can try to do like a cabaret or you know what I mean? Just something where I'm just myself singing. So, I mean, I know that there are still prejudices like, well, we don't like how you look on stage, so you can't be in this cabaret. But I feel like that's less than like, oh, we can't imagine this role being plus size. Even though being plus size or being skinny is not written into a specific, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Most roles don't have it written, this person is skinny or this person is fat. There's literally, like, it's a prejudice in casting.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It is.
Also, when I just said that, how do you feel about I've heard discussion over reclaiming the word fat. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
I've just heard women they've been using it more to
compliment.
Take not to compliment, but just to take. It's just an adjective. The way that we say someone's skinny.
Yeah.
The way that we say this chair is gray. You know what I mean? And I know some people aren't comfortable with it. I don't even really know if I'm comfortable with it, but I've been like playing around with it because it's just a way to almost de-weaponize the word.
Sure.
If I use it neutrally and just say, yeah, I'm fat, so.
Yeah.
You know, and you're skinny, and you're a size 10, and you're a size 12, and I'm a size 20, and you're a size, you know, like, what?
Just.
Okay. You know? So.
That's interesting. I've not heard that, but I think my initial reaction is I like it, but it's also going to make people uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because
but
it's a
that's
word
the
that
point. I mean.
Has been used to hurt.
Yeah.
It's been used as a weapon, right?
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Chubby, fat, thick. I mean, thick can be good and bad. That gets kind of used both ways.
Yeah. You know how I've seen, I feel like when people say, or like when I've heard like, oh, I like thick girls or whatever, sometimes I also think, I feel like, okay, how do I say it? I feel like there is currently a societally accepted version of fat, which is thick, but it's like a skinny girl with really thick waist and a big butt. Yeah. But she has she has a thin waist and big hips and a big butt.
Yeah.
And really big boobs.
Yeah.
And like that's what people are considering like plus size and like and I'm like, okay, yes, those women are stunning, but but most women look like me. Most women look like me.
Yeah.
And if you Google or if you look into like what the average size woman is in the States, I think it was a size, I think it's between a size 16 and 20.
Yeah, they used to say 14, like when I was growing up.
Yeah, but I think now
it's like 16 to 20.
Yes, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that is what most women look like. And to think that most stores don't even cater to the biggest population of women who are willing to spend money.
That's interesting. It's very true.
Willing to spend money. Yes. Oh. Well, and there are like brands that will put out a limited time plus size line, and it sells out in minutes. Like, and it only proves that plus size women are willing to spend the money, but they won't they don't. The market doesn't make anything for us.
I would absolutely spend the money.
So would I. I love being cute.
I just bought 6 pairs of shoes.
Exactly.
I drop coin. Like, I'll drive it. If it's something I want.
Yes.
But you're absolutely right. Mm.
Yeah.
You know, that leads us into like fashion and being, plus size. How the struggle to find cute clothes is impossible. It is impossible. I mean, I get to the point to where I wear these type of shirts. I call it my work uniform because this is a comfy top for me, and I can find this top in my size, and I find it even online or whatever easy. But anything outside of this is just, I can't. I don't know how to say it. Like, I feel comfortable in this, so I feel okay in this, but I can't find other clothes that are cute that I feel comfortable in. So I end up wearing the same shirts everywhere I go, and I hate it.
Because they don't create variety for us.
There's no variety.
Right.
That, or it's these god-awful leopard print.
Yes.
Like, it's white.
Bedazzled.
Yeah,
Lulus.
like grandma clothes.
Yes.
I can't. Sorry for the grandmas. I'm so sorry. I just generations.
I will also wear that when I'm a grandma.
Yeah. For reference. Like,
but, your thing.
But like, it is so aggravating.
I don't understand why they think like is there really, that's as imaginative as they can get?
Yeah.
You know, like a tent. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like literally, because that's how it feels. Like, it's just like a triangular piece of fabric that they cut a hole in for my head and for my arms.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, but not everybody is trying to, like, not everyone is trying to hide, or not everybody, or sometimes I want to keep up with trends, or I want to try a trend.
Yes.
I can't even try them sometimes.
It just doesn't exist.
Exactly.
You know, and I do, even though I am a bigger girl, or whatever you call it, or thick, or fat, or curvy, or whatever, I do have a waist. I can wear a belt. Like, I do, it's not that, it's the assumption of hiding, right? Right. So now maybe there's some hypocrisy in some of these statements, but it's like, I do want.
Yes, you want.
I want to try, at least, like you said. I want to at least try, but clothing and what have you doesn't even let me try. It shames me from the beginning that it's already right out of the gate.
Yes, you walk into a store. Oh, we don't go above a size 12, 14. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm a size 20. I need a size, bigger sizes. And Some stores have, recently been starting to add like my size and bigger in the store, but it's very few and far between.
Yeah.
And I have to do a lot of shopping online, a lot of returning, ordering, trying on, return it, exchanging for a different size, or, that was the biggest size they had, so I guess I just can't buy anything from here. So as much as I feel like I have tried to experiment with my fashion, I feel like it's been limited, and I've super recently, like I've really been wanting to like up my fashion and my wardrobe, and because I feel good with the way I dress and stuff now, but I was just like, I could be so much cooler, and so and so I'm like really wanting. I've been working to like, this sounds so silly, but I've been spending so much time like trying to define my style and like just really hone in on it so that I buy pieces. Actually, kind of how I was saying earlier, I want to buy quality pieces now, right? But I want to buy quality pieces that are not like a fleeting trend, or I'm very much more of like a staples classic kind of girl, and then like accessorize it or something. But it's been hard as a plus size girl because they just don't cater to people like us.
So it's like, how bringing it back to trying to develop a healthy self-esteem. Yeah. Then when all the cards are stacked against you.
Right. They definitely make you work for it. Yeah. I'll say that. It's not, and I say that I'm confident, but that's obviously not to say that I don't wake up some days and I'm like, I'm ugly today. Yeah. I mean, everyone has those days.
I was about to say, like that trend, that's everybody.
Right.
Thick, thin, whatever.
Exactly.
It just doesn't matter.
So I would say that I'm confident, but it has not come easy. Like, society has 100% made me work for it. Yeah. Whereas some people are served it on a silver platter. Yeah. Yep. So, or they, I don't know, that maybe sounded a little bit more too aggressive, but it's.
I mean, there's a part of me that's like, it is, I don't know. I don't want to excuse away the anger because there is an anger with it.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah. That's not fair.
Especially when you do have the moments or you have the steam to try.
Yes. That's so true.
When I should be exalted, and it shouldn't be just the whole phrase, like, if you just lose a little bit weight, you'd be cute, or if you just lose a little bit weight, you'd be so pretty,
or you're pretty for a big girl, or like you're so fashionable for a big girl, or like,
what does that mean?
Yes, what?
What does that mean? What do you understand what that means, and what that tone is,
right? Or how somebody would internalize that thought. Like if somebody said that to you, like not to you, but like if somebody said that to the person telling me that, how would they, like, how do they hear themselves? Sometimes I hear people say things and I'm like, do you hear yourself? Yeah. Do you hear yourself?
Because they're just regurgitating what society is instead of thinking for themselves. Yeah. Or really thinking about how some of those statements are weaponized without realizing that they are. Absolutely. I love the whole, like, you could find somebody if you just lose a little weight. And it's not like, ew. It's not, and it's, do you understand? I have tried. I do care about my body. I do. Yes. Like, it's not, I haven't let myself go. I haven't. Right. I may be dealing with struggles and things that you don't understand. You have no concept of the things that I have overcome. Yeah. That like, I should be, now I say this, because I was so like down on myself earlier, but now it's like you hear that, it's like I have, no, it's like, this body wears my experiences. Yes. Or my body, I'm wearing the things that have not necessarily torn me down, but I've also overcome. And if all that I am dealing with is a weight issue, that is amazing base. If you knew my history and what I've had to overcome. Yeah. But that doesn't matter. No. None of that is seen. Exactly. None of that matters. No. All it is I'm a lazy person.
Right. You look like,
I'm lazy. I don't take care of myself. People, they don't realize I work like 50, 60 hours. Right.
Exactly.
Anyways.
And then come home and then wait. I'm here waiting in her driveway so we can do a podcast.
Then I like Georgie, so it's okay.
But going back to what you were saying about like your body, and I feel like I've been trying to, when I have started to have negative thoughts about myself, like if I see like a certain part of myself, like my arms, my legs, my midsection, literally whatever I've decided that day, I'm like, ew. I have been trying really hard to reframe it and think about all of the positive things that part of my body has done for me. So, like, if I'm thinking about my legs one day, and I'm like, I don't like how my legs look in this. I'm like, my legs are incredible. The places that they've taken me, the things that I have been, you know, that I've had the privilege to do because I have functioning legs, you know, like just even things as simple as walking the theme parks, which is a huge thing that I love to do, you know, or even I can get up in the morning. I can get up in the morning. That's it. I can get up in the morning. It's a full sentence. And that's incredible, you know, and my arms. Okay, because of these arms, I can hug my dog. I can drive a car. I can, you know, I can pack my own bag. I can, like, there are so many things that my body is doing for me that have nothing to do with the way it looks, you know, and I've tried, like, when I find myself saying negative things about certain parts of my body, just trying to think about the incredible things that have nothing to do with the physical, like, as far as how it looks, the aesthetic, and just think about, okay, who cares how it looks? Look at all these things that it can do for me. Yeah. So, that's been a big
that's
for me.
I like that a lot.
Because that's what my body's for, to take me places, right? To do things.
It's just a skin suit. Right?
Exactly.
Just
for my brain.
For my soul. For the inner me.
Yeah.
So. Well, you know what, Georgie? I think I hear a little choo choo.
A little choo choo. That's not a choo choo at all.
We'll do it now. Woo!
We interrupt this program to bring you a very important rambling. Stay tuned. I also have a product placement rambling.
We just want money, apparently.
Clearly. And honestly, so far, out of, like, I would still, Awala, if you can hear me, I'm still your girl. I'm waiting for you. And hey, dude, if you can hear Elaine, she's your girl.
I'm gonna buy all your shoes.
She's already bought 6. Like, and one for her sister-in-law, so.
These are facts.
Today, it's something that you can put in your Awala if you have one.
Water? Vodka?
You're not...
Wine?
Okay, I love lemon water.
Okay.
I always have. Like, I just love squeezing a fresh lemon in my water. I think it's delicious. But anytime that I would buy lemons, I would forget that I have my ADHD just doesn't work with me, and I forget that I have them, and they end up rotting, or I use them like religiously for like 3 weeks, and then I forget that lemons are even a fruit and that they exist on the planet Earth. And or like if you want to use a fresh lemon in your water every day, if you're not trying to buy like 800 lemons, you're going to the store pretty often to get them. Yeah. And then, like I said, I forget about them, they rot, or I use them, and then I don't get to go to the store, and then I don't get my lemon water, and I'm sad. Yeah, it's a really hard life, guys.
Okay.
100% first world problems. But, you know, the fact that I'm just like, I can't put lemon in my water.
Oh my God,
but I have clean running water, and I'm complaining.
And a toilet and a roof.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, it's just the luxuries, which I'm very thankful for. So, I found this thing. Actually, my friend told me about it, called True Lemon. Okay. Have you heard of it? Mm-mm. Okay, it's like it's not sugar, but it looks like a sugar packet, right? Yeah. It comes, and it's like crystallized lemon, and if you look at the ingredients, it's like citric acid or whatever, which I'm assuming. That's what's in lemon. Right, and then lemon. Really? Yes. And I put it in this bottle of water that you see, or hear.
They can't see us.
And it's delicious. I'm not going to say that it tastes... Actually... I'm only saying that because I feel like I haven't tried them side by side. But I was about to say it might not taste exactly like a fresh lemon in your water, but I'm going to say it's pretty freaking close. Really? Yes. I'm obsessed. So now I've put like 5 or 6 packets in my purse so that anytime, like if I refill let's say I finish my water bottle here, I can refill it and put that. Because I just love it. I don't know what it is about it. And they also have True Lime. Which, if you're a Diet Coke girly like me, they used to sell Diet Coke with lime. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Oh, and I just had a blast from the past like 2 weeks ago, and I text 2 people that are part of that memory with me, and it was my friend Rachel who told me about this. She was like, I saw some girls on TikTok using something called True Lime. She ordered it, and then she texted me, and she was like, this is incredible. So then I ordered the True Lime on Amazon, in that moment, which it'll be here tomorrow, so I'll be able to review the True Lime tomorrow. But the True Lemon, I went grocery shopping today and I found it in the store. And so I've only been drinking this for 3 hours. But it's been the greatest 3 hours of my life.
It's the best thing ever.
It's the best
for the last 3 hours.
But it's crazy how similar. I'm not kidding.
Lemonade.
Yeah, it really.
It's just freeze-dried lemon.
It's
probably what it is.
Yeah, and I'm sure if a scientist looked at it, they'd be like, "You're an idiot." But you know, like,
just flip through a screen of a
yeah,
scientist going, "You're an idiot."
Exactly. But to me, it tastes great.
Yeah.
So I highly, if you are looking for a lemon water taste or lime flavored something in your beverage, I highly recommend it. They also have like those water like lemonade. Like if you wanted it, I'm not a big juice person. I don't like juice.
Yeah.
But if you like that kind of flavored water, like you know, sweet, they offer stuff like that too. But try out the lemon.
True lime. I kept hearing true crime.
True crime.
True crime.
Wait, that'd be a good mashup. I am a true crime girly too. So true crime and true lime.
You need to write a song.
You should write it because you're the songwriter. And I'll sing it.
No.
Oh. Okay. Wow. Watch her just crush my hopes and dreams in 5 seconds.
It's okay.
I was gonna have a whole musical number ready for you for the next show, but I guess not.
Listen, I'm tired. Mama's tired.
Oh my goodness.
But that's so interesting. I thank you for telling me about that because a singer trick, those of you who don't know, I teach voice lessons, is that you suck on a lemon wedge before you go perform because the citric acid is like paint thinner. It cuts all drainage. So if you've got postnasal drip or if you're at the end of a cold where you got that going on in your throat, you suck on a lemon wedge and it gives you about 20-30 minutes of like clear singing. It'll clear it out. Well, that's a lot more handier than carrying around a Ziploc of lemons.
What do you mean? Just like
no, because
taking like a shot or putting it in water?
No, you put it in water, but you would keep it intense.
Okay.
Like so, not like a whole bottle of water, but take like a little bit of water.
6 ounces.
Yeah, because the citric acid is what, and you said that's what's in it.
Yeah.
That's what the trick is. That's what you want from the lemon. So that's interesting. A little tidbit about lemons.
Yes, highly recommend.
Highly recommend. You know, I can't drink lemon water. I don't like lemon.
What?
I don't like lemon water. It's too diluted.
It's delicious.
It's like a pterodactyl.
I know. It made me sad.
I'm so sorry. Just we are different. That's what makes this show so wonderful, Georgie's, because we're both so different.
Yes.
Well, on that note, we feel like we have a lot more to say about self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
We're sitting here going, we could talk about this. So what we are going to do is we're going to do a part 2 on this subject. Because even now I'm thinking of things.
I know.
I'm like, I can talk about this and talk about this. And who knew? So with that, we're going to close our show out.
Ooh.
All right. Georgie, will you tell them where they can find us? Because I never remember. Because I'm old, I can't remember.
I'll just read it off of this paper that I have in front of me. So it's a lie. I don't actually remember.
Is it written?
I know, but it's in tiny font, so only a millennial can see it.
I hate you. No, but I said I love hate you.
Exactly. But if you like us and you want to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, you can find us at Sincerelythepodcast. And if you really like us and just can't get enough of us, you can check out our Patreon. You'll find us at Sincerelythepodcast as well. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this podcast wherever you're listening. If you can, leave a review. Let us know how you're liking it. Give us suggestions for other topics. I'd love to, even just comments, talk about this episode and what your thoughts on it are, because I think as we get more crowd engagement, I'd love to start reading their comments.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let you guys be a part of the show with us. Cause
that's what I want.
I want that too.
Yeah. I want it to feel like a community.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's how we all grow is if, and also I think, I'm going on a tangent. Okay, I'll shut up. No, I won't. So so I just think that community is where growth happens. Yes. And so me and Georgie are going to learn from you guys as much as you're going to learn from us. And we're all going to laugh together. We're all going to cry together. But that's what makes us humans. And that's what makes life beautiful. Yeah. And that's 100%, I think, what we've both envisioned for this podcast. So come be a part of our community, please. But until then, we will see you next week. Bye. Bye.